The campaign of the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for the 2023 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, has given reasons why the chairman of the nation's main opposition party, Iyorchia Ayu, cannot be removed at this time. The PDP has for months been rocked by eternal crisis, with a camp loyal to River State Governor Nyesom Wike demanding Ayu's resignation to enable a replacement from the south of Nigeria to be appointed. Despite the entrance of a new Board of Trustees chairman, Adolphus Wabara, a former Senate president from the southeast, the Wike camp is still insisting that Ayu must go. Joining us now on the show is Ologbondiyan, former PDP National Director of Publicity. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you. And I said something that's behind you. This is my first time of meeting you. I've always seen you as an exemplary girl child that any father would wish to have. Congratulations.
That is lovely. Thank you very much.
My man is a fiery man, and if you hear what people say about you,
fiery.
Yes, you are the only one that can challenge anybody.
No,
Dr. Abati is a part of us. He's our leader.
You are their leader.
He's our leader. He has seen it all.
I'm a practicing journalist. Some of you are inspired journalists.
I thank you, Dr. Abati. Thank you this morning for doing the needful. There's been a missing link which we have provided this morning, and that missing link is that we do not promote journalists. We do not elevate ourselves. And that is why people will always want to take us for granted. Except Baba Segun Oshoba and maybe Dr. Ayu himself, how many journalists have come to a position of relevance in our political firmament? People like Eziche Obani who went to the House of Rep. What promotion did we give them? Abdul Oro. What promotion did you give them? So what we did this morning about Chief Onabule and Najim Jimo is very excellent, and I thank you for that.
Thank you. But let's go to business.
Let's go.
The business at hand. The candidate of the PDP was in Lagos yesterday. Okay, we've spoken at length about how some of the details he provided as his economic blueprint seem to be lacking in terms of details. He talks about infrastructure, removing subsidy from infrastructure and all of that. But he didn't have anything to say about Infraco, which is a structure that is already in place. What is he going to do about that? He talked about selling off the refineries. How is he going to do it? So many gray areas. But let me take you straight to the political dimension of it. Today, we'll be going to Ibadan to meet with the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, and other stakeholders as part of an attempt to consolidate his reach out to the Southwest and also to address the Wike problem. How do you think meeting with Wike and other stakeholders in the Southwest will address the Wike issue? Wike is from the South-South, and he's very clear about what he wants. He says, Ayu must go. Ayu is going off to Europe now, we're told, for holiday, but he says he may go to Europe, but he's not leaving the position that he occupies. If you could address all of the strands.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. Let me say that I'm very fascinated by the position of our candidate, Atiku Abubakar Waziri Adamawa, in respect of his proposal to launch a $10 billion. He said he's going to launch a $10 billion stimulus fund, which will stimulate the micro, the medium, the small scale industries, so to enterprises, so to put it. I think that is a new opening. He didn't say that he kept the money somewhere, because I listened to my boss, Emma Efeni, talking about not addressing where the fund is going to come from. He addressed it. He said he will launch a $10 billion fund for the purpose of stimulating the economy. And if you look at it, if you look at our nation today, nothing can help us better than that situation. For instance, the akara seller on the streets, their capital is gone. The vulcanizers are not getting jobs. The non-formal economy, I'm not an economist, but the non-formal economy is not functioning. The purchasing power has become arbitrarily low. Nobody has money, except the Emilokons who are on the top. Nobody has the money. So if you look at it, that concept, that idea, that campaign proposal, that decision by Atiku to address the issue of stimulating the non-formal economy is important and is imperative. And you talk about privatizing our refinery. You recall in 2019, that was a major plank of his campaign. But they came after him and said, oh, he wanted to sell the refineries to his friends. But the people who won the election, the APC, the Buhari administration, what have they done? They claim to have sold the refinery. I watch your guest, I cannot recall his name. Talking with passion about our nation, about what is happening in the NNPC, about the shame that the NNPC has become. So are we going to wish to have that? And you want a new government that will come in to continue in that path? So the man said, look, the way out is to privatize. And I think I agree with him, because if APC, who derided him for saying that in 2019, came back, even without the knowledge of what they can achieve with it, and yet they came back to try to pursue that same program, which they have failed in. What is wrong with doing that? If that will help us. Then Atiku also spoke about the issue of doing the legislation that will remove the power sector from the exclusive list. I'm aware, for instance, that the Akwa Ibom State government under the Governor Emmanuel Udom have generated power, but they cannot distribute. They need to go back to Abuja and go and negotiate with the Ministry of Power, and so that they will not allow them to take their power to the national grid before it can be distributed. We don't need all that. So an Atiku has said that, look, when I'm elected, not if any longer, when I am elected and sworn into office on May 29, 2023, I will begin a process that will allow our laws to be amended in a manner that even Tundu and Dr. Abati can come together and form a power company and generate power and distribute. So what is wrong with that? Today we are saying that, oh, Ghana here has 24 hours of power supply, but we don't have it in Nigeria. And Atiku is saying that, okay, the only way we can have it is to remove power sector from the exclusive laws of our nation. So having said that, I believe that, unlike the other presidential aspirants who are merely saying that, oh, this is the problem, oh, this is the problem. No solutions. Atiku, from the beginning, he has spoke to our diversity. He has spoke to the need to unite our nation. He has spoke on security. That as a former custom officers who had a responsibility to safeguard the territorial integrity of our nation, that I will improve on that when I'm elected and sworn into office on May 29, 2023. I will bring in the issue of technology in manning our frontiers. He's the only one, Atiku is the only one out there who is bringing up realistic solutions to the problems of the country. And I'm not surprised that Nigerians are already rallying with him. I'm not surprised at all. But having said that, going into politics, I had consistently said on this program, and you recall the last time we spoke, Dr. Abati, on this same platform, I did say that political issues are not resolved on a one-off situation. And you remember I also said that Governor Wike will not leave the party. And even as we are speaking, he has not left the party. What we are going through today is a discomforting disagreement within our party. But the assurance which I gave before, and which I will also give now, is that no matter what happens, no matter how much we disagree, we will come back, because the family affair, we will come back home. Even in the micro family, among children of the same parents, there are disagreements, which they must return home and go and manage. And if you look at it, the issue of vote of confidence, which was passed on Ayu, was not passed only on Ayu, it was passed on the entire leadership of the party. And the essence of it is to showcase the unity of the party, that in spite of these discomforting disagreements, that we are still united. We will look at our issues, we will look at our problems, and we will resolve them.
Right, so two things. There have been criticisms of the Atiku blueprint, the economic blueprint, that it's short on how he's going to accomplish these solutions that he's proposed in terms of the minutiae of his plan. Otherwise, it's just pie in the sky. I want your response to that. And secondly, what's your response to the view of people like PDP chieftain Chief Bode George, who feel that the national chairmanship should come to the Southwest and give your party a stronger footing in the Southwest to be able to, combat Asiwaju Bola Tinubu of the APC?
Okay, thank you. I thought I first addressed the issue of the campaign of the proposals by Atiku Abubakar Waziri Adamawa, the candidate of the PDP, in respect of what he would do. I said in the beginning, he has said, within the 100 days of being elected as president, he will launch a 10 billion economic stimulus fund. He will launch, which means he's not saying that the money is kept somewhere, but he will raise funds, and I believe he can achieve it. I believe, and he can even bring in investors to come and help us in this situation in which our nation has been thrown into by the All Progressives Congress and the Buhari presidency. So for me, and I also said, look, about privatization of refineries, he has said it. What he will do, he will privatize. So I don't think there are issues about his approaches. And like I said earlier, I believe that Atiku Abubakar Waziri Adamawa is the only presidential candidate in our nation today who is bringing realistic solutions to the challenges that we are facing as a people. But having said that, you raised the issue of our respected leader in the party, Chief Bode George, saying that we should bring the party should bring the chairmanship to the Southwest. This, like I said, the last time we had this discussion, was agitation. You want something. I want something. Dr. Abati does, Rufai does. We have to go back to the party. It is only when we get inside the party and discuss issues and look at the possible scenarios. For instance, if you say, okay, take chairman from the north and bring it to the south, what does the rule provide for? Does the rule say that we can unilaterally take chairman and replace him from one zone to the other? Because we are guided by rules, we are guided by the Constitution. And what does the Constitution say? The Constitution provides that, for instance, Ayu is traveling, and in the democratic tenet of the party, he has already written to his deputy from the north to take charge. That is what the Section 45 provides for. So we cannot go out of it. So as far as I am concerned, what's important is the focus on the election as we speak, because all these issues, when we bring them in, we can resolve them one way or the other. It requires give and take. 2 weeks ago, last week, 3 weeks ago, we were not talking about Atiku visiting Southwest stakeholders. The fact that today he will be received by the governor of your state, Governor Makinde, and the fact that the leadership of the party in Southwest are going to engage with me shows that we have shifted from where we were before to another level. And not the kind of levels that APC is preaching, but in a level of uniting our party. So I want to appeal to my media colleague, because even before we went on NEC, the report was that, Ayu was going to go, Ayu has already gone, the party is going to break, the party is already breaking. Allow the party, you see, give it to the PDP. Since 1998 till date, that is the only party that has survived all the storms. Where is APP? From APP, it changed name to ANPP. Where are they today? Where is AD? From AD, it became AC. From AC, it became ACN. Before it mutated to APC. Yet, where are they? They are on their last line as we are speaking.
No,
So,
AD still exists.
Mutated or evolved?
No, AD still
mutated.
exists.
AD.
But
Okay, but are they on the wavelength?
That's another one, but AD still exists.
Are they on the wavelength? Are they on the 1998? Are they on the
1998?
1998 wavelength? The answer is no. So the only party that has survived the storms is the PDP, and even these two shall pass.
Okay, so I'd like to come to you. A lot of people will say, yes, you can say this for political, speak, But the truth is, the Wike factor is still a prominent factor, and it's been ranting fire and brimstone. I thought you guys said in London you were going to give him 2 weeks, to go look at the propositions and plans. But Wike is saying, I'm adamant, and I'm not going back on what I said before. And people are saying it will truncate your chance in Rivers State. Secondly, the house people are asking is that your policy presentation was low on her, and I'll give you instances. Number one will be you're saying you're cutting taxes, tax rebates for businesses. People will argue with you that tax rebates are already going on for businesses. In fact, as of yesterday, they were debating in the Senate that 6.5 trillion were to be given in import waivers and taxes for businesses. But the fact is, and you can go and check, there are empirical arguments that tax rebate doesn't really stimulate the economy except you have good policies and fiscal policies to back it up. So he's not said how. It's just, I'll give tax rebate. Everybody will give tax rebate to lower taxes. Secondly, you talked about removing power from the power grid and devolving power.
From exclusive.
Yeah. If you get that through legislation, you forget that there are tender costs that come with it. That means you have to build regional and new grids across the country. Who's going to pay for that capital investment? Because that's the attendant risk of saying that you want to remove power from that grid system and all of that. You want people to have they will have to build new grids. Who's going to take up all that investment? That's another one. Your forex policy, you keep saying you're going to converge. What is going to be the implication of the convergence? Have you been able to tell us the implication of the convergence? How is that going to go? You are saying you're going to converge, but the last time I checked, the CBN is supposed to have some level of independence. What's going to be the case? So it is low on how.
Thank you very much. Let me begin from the grid issue. For instance, in one of the encounters that I had with the Akwa Ibom State Governor, when we discussed the issue of they have generated power, but they have problem with distribution because they have to go to the national grid. He was of the opinion, but that if the state is allowed to independently, distribute his own grid, that if they distribute his own power, if they need to build a grid, they will. And I believe that all over the world, where you have private people investing in power, if they cannot function in the national grid, they can build private grid, they can build their own. And Atiku Abubakar said, as president, I'm going to do this. And I do not think that you expect Atiku Abubakar just at a function of the in Lagos, LCCI in Lagos yesterday, to say all that he can do. I think we should give that to him. Right. I don't think that's possible. And all the issues, I don't know whether we have had a chance of reading is a policy document.
I've read through it. Okay.
So I believe that all the issues that cannot be taken on one off will be provided as we go into the campaign. And
are you still going to release more policy documents, or is that the only
No. We will speak to the document. We will speak to the document at every point in time that the candidate, Atiku Abubakar, has the chance. He will speak to the document that he has laid before Nigerians. And for instance, when we talk about security, for instance, I did say that he has the experience. He's a retired custom officer, and he has said that from his experience. Even when they were in power between 1999 and 2020 and 2007, I remember that as a reporter for This Day in the presidential villa, I could remember that Atiku had influence in the recruitment of 10,000 policemen. I remember very, very well, because there was a joke then about those policemen, because of the manner of their training, that even Mr. President used to call them Atiku policemen. I remember very well. So, and the man has said, look, we have done all this before. Yes, the population has gone on the increase. Yes, the environment is not as it was before. But I have the experience by which I can say, let us move from point A to point B. So I do not expect Atiku to come for that business forum discourse and just at that moment will be able to bring down every plan that he has and the processes. Because for instance, when you raise the question of a $10 billion economic stimulus fund, I did say that he said he's going to launch, and even if you read the account from This Day, he said he will launch. So I believe that Atiku is the only person, he's the only candidate who is providing realistic solutions to the problems of the country.
Okay, Kola. there are some other issues.
Oh, sorry, doctor. I didn't talk about the issue you raised about the River State government.
Yeah.
Efforts are on, and I'm just being sincere with you, and I'm being honest. Efforts are on, even as you and I are speaking. Beyond what I can come to the national television to discuss, efforts are on to put this movement behind us in the party and walk straight towards the challenge that is before Nigerians, which is the APC.
There is the unresolved matter of the fact that if former Vice President Atiku Abubakar wins, he will be continuing the northern, trajectory in terms of the leadership of Nigeria. That's one. The second one is the fact that he is also a Muslim, although his own ticket appears balanced with Senator Ifeanyi Okowa from the south and also a Christian. But I don't think that matter can just be wished away. Does the party have a strategy for addressing this? Beyond Atiku Abubakar himself, the candidate, saying Southerners don't have to worry that if he wins, it will mean another period of 8 years of power residing in the northern part of the country. Something that clearly even members of the party, Wike and others, say runs against the grain of the principles outlined in the constitution of the party. How can a ticket that breaks the law of the party present itself as a ticket that will defend the constitution of Nigeria? What is the strategy to address that, to sell that to the electorate?
Dr. Abati, let me in all honesty say that I don't enjoy going back to this issue. Because
the matter is settled?
Because, you know why I say so? This is an issue that had been debated immediately after the emergence of Atiku.
So is it a settled
So
matter?
now, doctor, Atiku went through the national convention. It's not in my place, like I said. I don't want to go back on this issue because it looks like rehashing issues and also looks like going to open wounds that are being healed. However, let me say clearly that as far as the People's Democratic Party is concerned, as a political party, Atiku carries a pan-Nigerian ticket because he went to the national convention. He contested. He was voted for by Nigerians who were delegates across geopolitical lines. And that's the honest truth. However, like I will always love to say, I don't like going back on this issue. There are issues, and I've said it, that there are discomforting disagreements in the party. And the party is working assiduously to ensure that we put these issues to rest and that we come together as one body, as a family, to go into the election, rescue Nigerians from the yoke that the All Progressives Congress has become, and also rebuild our nation in the interest of every Nigerian. So I think that is the trajectory that I will want to focus on. That is the trajectory that I want to align myself with. All the issues about, Atiku breaking the law. Atiku did not break any law to become the candidate. He didn't, and I can tell you why. We had 2 committee reports which was brought to NEC. And by our constitution, the NEC has the power to act on behalf of the National Convention. And these reports were brought to the party at NEC, which is the ceiling of the organs before you go to the National Convention. And NEC ratified their decisions of 1, to declare the contest open in view of the fact that people had already bought forms and people were already campaigning. So if you rezone, whom are you going to drop or whom are you not going to drop? I don't like going back on these issues, honestly, because it's like reopening the old wound that we are struggling and battling to heal. But having said that, Dr. Abati, my appeal is that the party should be encouraged. It should be encouraged to resolve its crisis internally, inwards, homely. And that is why we continue to respect the opinion of Dele Fayose, the former governor of Ekiti State, who, unlike others, will go to River State governor, Nyesom Wike, and will not speak the truth. He went there, and the pacificative approach or the pacification method that he used to appeal to Governor Wike, as I speak with you, has encouraged reconciliation strongly within the party. And like I said, last week, 2 weeks ago, nobody believed that Atiku will go to Ibadan and the Governor Makinde will be there to receive him, will provide logistics for meetings. I don't know whether, even in this day, the Southwest geopolitical zones chapter of the PDP spoke towards the fact that the conciliatory efforts are ongoing. So I want to appeal that the party should be encouraged and should be given maybe a time frame to resolve its issues. Thank you.
Right, you spoke of old wounds reopening. That supposes that the wounds ever closed. I don't think they did, because Governor Wike is still expressing dissent. Governor Wike and his band, I'll have you know, he's doing it in a very public,
Governor
fashion.
Wike hasn't said anything in the last 3 days.
Maybe he's not launched a project.
He has commissioned projects. He hasn't said anything negative about the People's Democratic Party. That's one. 2, Governor Wike has been mounting the podium and screaming the name PDP. So we should take cognizance of this, because for us, our joy in the PDP is to see an end to these issues. But let me say once again that whatever we are passing through today in the party has the capacity through its internal mechanisms of resolving issues to resolve it, and we are on course.
Okay. So, you call your candidate the unifier.
Yes, he is.
There's the context of the Igbo presidency, which a lot of Igbo people feel disgruntled. After 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari, in a scenario if your candidate wins, that will be 16 years of presidency to the north. How do you think that will unify Nigeria?
See, Rufai, it goes back to what I said, that I don't want to reopen. But if you insist that I should answer the question,
Put the issues on the table.
You understand?
Yeah.
No, the issues are on the table. The issues are unknown.
Yeah.
They are known to Nigerians.
So, how do you think that will unify?
Those who are saying that, oh, Atiku is from the north, Buhari did 8 years, Atiku should not have been elected as a candidate of the party. Personally, I don't see things from that angle. We are not members. I'm not a member of the APC, and I have no plans in whatever way and in whatever form to be a member of the APC. And as such, I can only operate within the concept and the totality of what PDP represents. So since I have no plan to go to APC, since I cannot contest on the platform of APC, I listened to Governor Akeredolu Arakunrin recently, talking about is the turn of the South. I have no argument with him. He's talking about his own political party, the All Progressives Congress.
Don't you think he's talking about fairness?
No.
Which is a power rotation between the north and the south?
If you go to the issue of fairness,
it's not just a case of fairness.
Let me tell you. Let me explain some things to you. If we talk about fairness, we'll be talking about, Jonathan came in, President Goodluck Jonathan came in and completed the tenure of Umar Yar'Adua after 8 years of President Olusegun Obasanjo. He came from the south, and after that, he also contested another 4 years with the support of President Olusegun Obasanjo, and he was in office, making 6 years. When he wanted to go for another 4 years, that was where the disagreement occurred. So when you add that 6 years to 8 years, what do you get? Maybe you get 14 years. Some people say.
But if you minus it by 16,
wait now. Some people say that is a 13 and a half, or whatever it is. This went to the south within the People's Democratic Party, and up to that, we had an election in which President Goodluck Jonathan lost. Then we gave 4 years. The party allowed Atiku Abubakar to contest for 1 term by election at the convention, which he emerged. And 4 years. When you minus that 14 and a half from 16, 13 and a half or 14 from 16, what does it give you?
2 years over.
Okay, thank you.
Without the Southeast presidency.
Okay, without the Southeast and without the North presidency too. Yes, now, without the Southeast and without the North, I'm doing my calculation on the basis of the People's Democratic Party.
Yar'Adua wasn't from the North?
Yar'Adua's from the North. He did 2.5 years or 2 years. And you minus that from 16 years, what do you get?
Buhari wasn't from the North?
Buhari did not contest on the platform of the PDP.
But does it stop you from coming from the North if he doesn't contest on the platform of the PDP?
The point is this. We run a party system in this country. You understand? And every party will choose how it wants to run its own affairs. Like I said, I don't like going back to this issue because these are issues that we have debated widely.
But you don't tell us the issues to talk about in politics season. You don't tell us. We bring up the issues. The society brings up the issues. You don't tell us what
the society has brought up the issue.
Reduce this
society has brought up the
chat.
No, doctor.
This is not a chit-chat.
Doctor, the society has brought up the issue, and the party is struggling within it to resolve all issues.
This is not a chit-chat. This is a conversation. Let me ask you now.
Yeah, doctor.
Last week or so, the Sultan of Sokoto visited Governor Wike. We keep going to Governor Wike because he's still, quite an important factor in the party. Yeah. Does the party have a hand in that visit? Do you have any information that you think we should know about the strategic value of that visit by the Sultan to Governor Wike?
Well, I think that the Sultan went for a program in Rivers State by what I read in the public, and also, as a matter of courtesy, visited Governor Wike. And that's all that I know. What I've known is not even what you are aware of because it's in the public. But I'm not aware, I haven't found out if the party had any influence in that process.
Right. In order for all the lofty plans that you just, outlined from your presidential candidate to come to fruition, he's going to have to win the elections. What is your take? Initially, it was billed right at the beginning of this whole process. It would have been a 2-party race, APC and PDP. But now we're looking at least 3. Some might say 4. There's the Peter Obi factor, and there's Rabi Kwakwanso. So let's have an analysis, in your view, of the prognosis for the PDP.
In my view, the 2023 election is a straight duel between the People's Democratic Party leading and the other parties. That's my analysis.
Based on?
Based on my visit to no fewer than 25 states, wherein I went to discuss with ordinary Nigerians to ask their view, to ask their opinion on what they think. As you speak, who on the street of Nigeria today, what's the percentage of those who will contemplate voting for All Progressives Congress? Or are you going to bring a candidate who came out and said a Melokon, as if we are distributing titles in a community? Or who is going to vote for a candidate who, in almost 30 years of sojourn in politics, has no ties, has no links, has no interest outside his own zone? Who?
Who are you referring to there?
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the Emilokon of Bodiland.
Lord.
Who? Who's going to do that?
He has links and ties all over the country.
Where? What is the level of... You see, structures are built. When people say that, what does it matter? The people are... The structures are built. You created APC for one purpose, to bring President Muhammadu Buhari into office, to get him elected into office, after which the structure is dismantled. Just wait for it. In a matter of months, you will get the picture that I'm painting. Where is it? APC was created to make President Buhari president, and that purpose has been achieved. What do you think will be left of it as a party?
Well, thank you very much, Kola Ologbondiyan. I like your passion.
Thank you.
and your commitment.
Thank you very much.
You are still carrying on as if you are on duty.
Well, doctor, the passion has to do with our country. It has to do with our nation. And the only political party out there whose thinking, whose styles is akin to the feeling of Nigerians is the People's Democratic Party.
Well, thank you.
That's the reality. That's the truth.
The campaign has not started yet.
I'm not saying vote for me.
Wait till
I'm not saying
the campaign
vote for Atiku.
Wait till the campaign starts properly. Thank you very much.